Hi everyone, I hope that you guys are doing really well today. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today's video is going to be another purchase or pass video. I actually don't have too many products to talk about in today's video. I think I have 6. Let me just double check. Okay, I have 2 products that I'm going to purchase, 2 that I might possibly pick up, and then 2 that I'm going to completely pass over. So hopefully this video won't be too long. I do have a tendency to really ramble on in these videos, but if you guys missed my purchase or pass video last week, you might have missed my announcement that my friend Samantha March, who's actually the creator of the Will I Buy It series here on YouTube, actually created a really cool community playlist. So if you like these new makeup release videos, there are a bunch of people here on YouTube that film videos like that, and she created a playlist so anybody who films them can add their videos to the playlist, and you can discover some new creators, some new channels. So I'll link that playlist in the description box below. I'm personally excited to go through and check it out and hear what people think about new makeup releases, so I will link that one below if you guys are interested, along with Samantha's channel. Okay, let me kick it off with the products that I'm planning on purchasing. The first one is from the new ColourPop KathleenLights Zodiac Collection. So this collection is going to be available on July 26th, and there are a couple of different products in the collection. There are 2 that I'm really eyeing. The first one is the Zodiac Eyeshadow Palette. So this one's going to retail for $18. When I first saw it, I don't know that I was like, I guess just immediately drawn to it. I think the 2 darker shades in this picture kind of throw me off. Like there's a dark gray and like a black shade that aren't really necessarily my favorite, and then there are a couple of neutrals, a few colorful shadows, so it's not the most cohesive palette in my opinion. But I was actually watching KathleenLights' video today, and she was kind of going through why she chose the different shades, and I'm not personally big into astrology. I think it's really interesting, and I was kind of like drawn in by her video and what she had to say about each of the signs, but I don't know a lot about them, so I think her reasoning behind each of the shades was interesting to hear. I kind of feel like this is going to be a really fun palette for like summer transitioning into fall, and I do switch up my makeup seasonally. I mean, I will wear like bright shades in the winter and like dark, cooler tone, smoky shades in the summer. I don't know. I just think they're going to be really fun to play with, whether I use the palette as a whole or I use it as an accent palette. So this one looks really gorgeous. I will definitely grab it. I think a lot of the shades are different than shades that I've seen in other ColourPop palettes, so it could be really interesting. And then there are a few other products in the collection. So she did create 2 Luxe lipsticks. I don't know if I'll grab them. I don't necessarily feel strongly one way or the other about the Luxe lipsticks. I think they're good, but at the same time, I personally love the lippy sticks. I've been wearing them like every single day for the past 2 months. So, you know, I don't feel like I need to have the Luxe lipsticks. I just think the colors she created are pretty, but at the same time, I probably already have shades like that in my collection. I am going to skip over the Super Shock highlighters just because I do have a couple and I do enjoy them, but I feel like I don't need to add any more shades to my collection right now. The other product that I'm really considering is one of the Supernova shadows. They both retail for $7 each, and there are 2 colors. I'm interested in the shade Astrology, which is like a super intense liquid metal gold. She said it's very similar to her shade Telepathy, which I actually don't own. I thought it was really interesting, but I might just end up grabbing both of them. I think they're really, really beautiful. And I don't wear the Supernova shadows super often, but at the same time, I think they are fun to have in your collection when you want to switch it up a little bit. So out of the entire collection, I'm interested in the eyeshadow palette and then possibly the Supernova shadows, but I'll probably skip over the Super Shock highlighters and the Luxe lipsticks. So the next products that I am interested in buying are from Essence. I don't know if I'll grab all of them, but I'm at least interested in trying one of them. They just released 3 new eyeshadow palettes that are available for $9.99 each, and they're available now on Ulta's website. I just saw them as I was scrolling through the other day. I've tried some Essence shadows in the past and I've enjoyed them. I think that $10 for a palette with 16 shades is a good deal if the quality is there. So the first one is the Spice Up Your Life palette. This is kind of what I would consider like a fall toned palette. It has a lot of warm tones, but it also has some cooler tones in it as well. And you can get a lot of like medium looks, some darker dramatic looks. The palette I'm with the band, it comes with like some cooler tone shades, and these are interesting. I feel like they're more subdued colors. Like it is a colorful palette, but it's a little bit more subdued, and it's kind of interesting and unique. And then the third palette is Fairy Wings and Magical Things, and this one is like a lighter pastel palette. So I don't know which one I'll end up grabbing. I think I might grab Spice Up Your Life, but at the same time, I'm not sure. I do want to try one of them. The thing about the brand Essence is that it's always on sale on Ulta's website. They either do like 40% off the brand or buy one, get one half off. So, I mean, you could get the palette for $10, but if you wait until they're on sale, you could get it for even less of an expensive price. So I will grab them and try them out probably sooner rather than later, just because I'm curious about them, and let you guys know if they're worth the money. Okay, let's move on to some products that I might possibly purchase. I don't know exactly. It kind of depends on what they look like swatched or what people say in reviews. The first one is from Persona Cosmetics, and it is their matte liquid lipsticks. Now, I do really like the brand. I think that I've only tried one product from them, but the eyeshadow palette that I've tried was so high quality. Like, it was one of the most high quality palettes that I've ever tried, that I'm currently like waiting for them to release additional palettes, just because I was so impressed by the formula. But I don't know, like ever since I tried that palette, the brand's kind of intrigued me. So I do want to try out some more products. Their matte liquid lipsticks are going to be available now on their website, and then they're coming to Ulta in July or August. So there are 3 different shades, and this is their first lip product release because it is a newer brand. They have 3 shades: OG, which is a classic nude, Flamingo, which is a mauve pink, and then Holy Grail, which is a true red. I don't feel like I need any additional matte liquid lipsticks at this point. I have way too many, to be honest. I need to do a declutter, but I just have so many of them that I'm kind of like dreading going through and trying to decide which ones to keep and which ones to get rid of. And the thing is, I haven't been wearing a lot of matte liquid lipsticks lately. I'm really big into my ColourPop lippy sticks, and that's basically all I wear, or like lip liner and lip gloss. But at the same time, I do still like a good liquid lipstick, and even though I have, you know, my essentials in my collection from Smashbox and ColourPop and Stila, I am interested in trying additional brands just to see if, you know, the formula is good, if I discover like an even better one. So I'm torn because I know that I don't need them, but at the same time, I really enjoyed their eyeshadow palette and I want to try more from the brand. So I guess we'll see. If you guys try them, let me know what you think. The colors are pretty. I'll probably end up grabbing either the nude shade or the red shade, but they're supposed to be really comfortable and give you like a gorgeous velvety finish. So those are at least like on my list. Like, I'm thinking about them. I might grab them. I might not. We'll see. The other product that I am interested in grabbing, but I might wait, like I'm already planning my Sephora VIB sale list for the fall, because there are products that I've kind of been eyeing, but I don't want to spend a full price on, or, you know, things that I want to try, but I know I can wait. So I'm kind of already adding things to my list for that sale in a few months, which is kind of ridiculous, but I am interested in the CoverFx Powder Play Concealer. So this is going to retail for $30, and it will be available at the end of July on their website, and then in Sephora and Ulta in August. The thing about this is that $30 for a high-end concealer is pretty expensive. I'm so happy with my ColourPop concealer. It's my go-to, that I have a hard time really spending anything over like the $6 on a concealer, just because I feel like no matter what I try, I always go back to the ColourPop concealer. But I do want to try out this concealer from CoverFx and the foundation. So they're kind of on my list to try when I'm in the mood to purchase a new foundation and a new concealer, just because the formula sounds promising. It's supposed to be a high-performance, crease-proof, full coverage concealer. It is vegan, and there are 30 shades. I think they did a great job with the shade range. But as of right now, I don't need a new concealer. I think if I purchase the foundation, I'll probably buy the concealer at the same time and try them out, but I'll probably wait for an Ulta coupon or the Sephora VIB sale. Okay, and then finishing up with 2 products that I will not be buying. The first one is from Urban Decay, and there's not a lot of information about this release, but Urban Decay is coming out with a new eyeshadow palette, of course, because they have been all about eyeshadow palettes this year. They're releasing their Aphrodisiac Eyeshadow Palette. Actually, I was going to say the date, but the date hasn't been released yet, so it should be coming soonish. I feel like it will be a late summer, early fall release, just judging by the colors. The other palettes that are very similar in their collection, like in terms of size, retail for $29. So they didn't say, but I assume it's going to be available for $29 as well. It comes with 6 shades, 3 mattes and 3 metallics, and I'm not interested in this. I think the colors are beautiful, but I'm not big into like mini palettes, just because I feel like I'd rather spend a little bit more and have more shades to choose from. I'm not into super large palettes, but I'm also not into super small palettes. I like just like a regular sized palette, I guess. When I look at the shades, they're pretty and they look like shades that I would wear, but I feel like we just saw these shades in the Back Talk palette, and it also kind of reminds me of the Tarte Love, Trust, and Fairy Dust eyeshadow palette, which I just purchased and I love. So I don't know, I feel like that palette's just kind of basic and boring, and I don't really like to say that about a lot of products, because I know something generally appeals to somebody out there. But for me personally, like I already have those shades in so many palettes that I just don't feel like I necessarily need that one. And the last product that we're going to talk about is, of course, the new Beauty Blender Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation, which retails for $40. It is available now on their website and then also at Sephora. So let me go over the details and then I'll share my thoughts. This is supposed to have a velveteen matte finish. It's supposed to be 24-hour wear, and there are 32 shades. The packaging is interesting, and I feel like that's a selling point for a lot of people, at least what I've seen online. The thing is, for me, I'm not like a Beauty Blender diehard fan. I did only use beauty blenders for a little while until I discovered the Real Technique sponge, and this has been my go-to. It's a lot more affordable. My dog always gets her hands or her paws on my sponges no matter what and just like rips them up. I'm happy to say that it's been a while because I'm a lot more careful with them. She doesn't eat them. She just thinks they're toys. So she rips them apart, and it happens more often than it should. So I feel like I'm just not willing to spend so much on a sponge when that happens. And honestly, I just like the Real Techniques one better. But a lot of people are into the packaging. I think it's interesting. It's cool they did something a little bit different, and it definitely fits with their brand. As for the shade range, I mean, I think it's ridiculous. And I always inevitably get comments when I talk about this just saying that people should just be happy with what they release and people shouldn't complain and they should just have to mix foundations to find their shade range or go with another product. And I feel like that's just not the case. It's 2018. I mean, the makeup game has changed. And if you're going to release a foundation or a concealer or a complexion product, you have to be willing to cater to different skin tones. I mean, CoverFx just released this concealer. They have 30 shades, which is actually 2 less than Beauty Blender, and it is a concealer, so it's a different product, but their shade range makes more sense. There are lighter shades, there are darker shades, and they cater to different undertones. Beauty Blender released their foundation, and I'm trying to find the second photo that Trend Mood posted that's like a little bit more accurate. They released their shade range, and there's just no variation within it. Like, there are darker shades, there are lighter shades, but so many of the shades are so extremely similar. So I think the fact that they came out with 32 shades is awesome, but you can't just come out with a large number of shades. You have to come out with a good variation, and it has to make sense going from really light all the way through to very dark. I understand that different brands cater to different demographics, but at the same time, I think you just have to be inclusive. That's just how it is. And if you're not willing to be inclusive, then you have to deal with the backlash. And it's kind of crazy to me because just like a well-known brand like Beauty Blender is releasing their first makeup launch, like their first actual complexion product, and they created this shade range and it was like approved by everybody, like it got through the company and it was okay, blows my mind. It doesn't make sense to me at this point any longer. They know how the community works, they know what the market is like, and they have to know that they were going to receive flack for this. The thing that really makes me mad about this launch is that they were blaming Trend Mood for using a crazy filter, and they were literally going through on her page and responding to people saying there was like a wacky filter on it. I feel like when a company or even a person just pushes off responsibility for something that they are personally responsible for onto somebody else, or blames it on something like bad lighting or angles or filters, it honestly just makes you look so ridiculous instead of making you look better and putting you in a better light. And I realize that the person responding to these comments might have just been somebody on their social media team, but at the same time, like, get it together. You know what I mean? Even if there was a weird filter on this, which the lighting does look a little bit off, it doesn't really change the fact that the range within the foundation shades is pretty terrible. So I just don't know why they were doing it. I felt like that was just embarrassing. Like, I felt secondhand embarrassment when I saw them responding to people like that. You have to be inclusive. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to do better. So that's all I have to say about that topic. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments below which products you'll be buying, which ones you won't, because I do love hearing from you, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a new video. Bye.